No, just me.
Good morning. I'm Berks County Commissioner Christian Leinbach and want to welcome you to our Commissioners Board meeting for May the 30th. We are broadcasting live via Microsoft Teams live event. We're also on BCTV as well as Facebook and YouTube Live. We'll call the meeting to order with a moment of silence followed by a pledge to our flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. At this time, I'll recognize my executive assistant, Anne Marie Grill, to read the public comment policy.
Thank you, Commissioner Leinbach. Public comment will be accepted in person and through the Q&A function. Please include your first name, last name, and municipality for all comments. Any comments without name and municipality will not be considered. Each citizen can submit one comment. Comment length is dictated by the limitations of the platform being used. Teams Q&A, Facebook, and YouTube. In-person comments will be accepted first, followed by comments submitted virtually. The meeting comment period is limited to a total of 30 minutes, including both in-person and virtual comments. This time period may be extended at the discretion of the board. Please be concise. Comments that are germane to county business will be read during the meeting and should not be considered to be interactive dialogue with the commissioners. The county solicitors shall be the final arbiter of whether a comment is germane and should be read. Any commissioner response to public comment will be done at the discretion of the commissioners.
Thank you very much, Anne Marie. Are there any additions or corrections for the May 23rd meeting minutes? Hearing none, the minutes will stand approved as presented. We did have two executive sessions, one on May the 23rd dealing with litigation, another one on May the 29th dealing with litigation, personnel, and real estate. There's no public comment on agenda items in person or online, so we'll move to the agenda. Item 1, authorizing. Under that, Budget Department, adopt a resolution authorizing 2023 budget transfers in the amount of $452,654 and 2024 budget transfers in the amount of $28,338 per listing dated May 24th of 2024. Purchasing, we have one item, adopt a resolution authorizing a recommendation to award and further authorizing the Director of Contracts and Procurements to execute a contract as a result of an invitation to bid for janitorial services for a period of 3 years to be utilized by magisterial district courts, Fire Training Center, and Berks County Workforce Development Board as follows. It goes to DSC Solutions out of Lancaster, PA. The total estimated expenditure is $313,098. Again, that's for years 1, 2, and 3. Item B, and actually there were two items here, adopt a resolution rescinding resolution number 116-2024. This is the award to Test Force USA, a vendor. The vendor failed to meet the performance, security, and insurance requirements detailed in the invitation to bid. We have one item listed under Commissioner Santoni. Adopt a resolution authorizing the appointment of Jean Morrow, Wyomissing, PA, to the Mental Health and Developmental Disabilities Advisory Board for a 3-year term expiring December 31st of 2026. There are several items listed under the Commissioners. Item A, adopt a resolution authorizing a letter of support for the application of Our City Reading for funding in the amount up to $200,000 to the Pennsylvania Department of Community and Economic Development Special Priorities Program for the renovation of the Helping Harvest Annex project located at 2nd and Washington Streets in Reading, PA. Item B, adopt a resolution accepting the resignation of Jamie Perez from the Berks County Housing Authority Board effective immediately. Item C, adopt a resolution authorizing an amendment to the Berks County Area Agency on Aging 2024 through 2028 local area plan to include Appendix 3, which addresses the agency's current emergency preparedness plan and long-range preparedness planning. Item 182 2024D has been pulled from the agenda. And as a result, that renumbers items E, F, and G to items D, E, and F, and I will recognize that as I read them. Item D, new item D, adopt a resolution authorizing the chair to execute a bill of sale transferring the county ownership of Althouse Mill Bridge to Exeter Township. I meant to say something to former Commissioner Kevin Barnhart, but this has been in the works for quite some time. Could you just share a little bit of detail?
Yes, thank you, Commissioner Leinbach. I think it was back to 2018. We met with the township in regards to this bridge is located in Shelbourne. And it's an intersection that really needed extensive renovations to widen the approaches to the intersection. So along with that and basically putting in a new bridge, we were successful in negotiating with the Exeter to invest money into the intersection upgrades, and in lieu of, and in consideration of that, to take the bridge from the county once the bridge is up and operational. So it's been 6 years.
Yeah.
But that's sometimes how long it takes. So much planning to do intersections and bridge improvements.
And even permitting often is a couple of years.
But this was really, really highly successful. Really appreciated working with the township and the township manager at the time to make this work, not just for the county, but also for the folks in Exeter Township. So
in long term, it's a financial benefit to the county. And we're not just doing this with any bridge. These are bridges that are technically not regional in use. They are really local in their value. At some point in the future, it would be good to do a bridge report. When you and I took office in 2008, I think the bridge count was somewhere around 66.
63 plus, yeah.
60, somewhere in the 60s. It's now somewhere in the 50s. And I know this one, and then more recently, I guess did we transfer the Bridge and Muhlen?
I think that was last month.
Yeah.
Yes, that one was that was probably 4 to 5 years in the making.
Quite a while.
Yeah, so over that period of time, there's been some demolitions, removals, and some turnover. So we'll get, probably in the next few weeks, we'll be able to prepare a report as to how we are streamlining our bridge inventory.
Okay, good.
The facilities just updated their webpage recently in the past probably month, including the $5 registration fee, so that individuals can go on the website to see where your registration fee goes.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, that's okay. I see that now. The county bridge program. Yep, I'm going to quickly, just since now's the time, I'm going to share my screen. So if somebody wants to see this, they simply go to berkspa.gov under government, click on facilities, and then click on the county bridge program. It will give you an overview, explains what we do relative to the various bridges. Opportunity, if you have an inquiry about the bridges, could be a problem you see with the bridge or ownership question, you can contact us. This is a map of all the county bridges, and then talks about the $5 local use fee on registrations in Berks County. That's exclusively to help us catch up on bridge maintenance and repair and some additional information. But thank you. Jesse, that's a good thing to point out. That's why we have a website. berkspa.gov, facilities, and the County Bridge Program. Back to the agenda. We are now on newly lettered item E, adopt a resolution authorizing the exoneration of tax bill number 1203 in the amount of $664.13 for 118 North Rosewood Court, Wernersville, PA, owned by Samuel Edwards. And newly lettered item F, adopt a resolution authorizing the execution of an addendum to the Comprehensive Health Services Agreement between the County of Berks and Prime Care Medical, Inc. for the provision of comprehensive health care services at the Berks County Youth Center Shelter Care, subject to approval of the final terms and conditions by the Solicitor's Office. Item 2, a motion to authorize the execution of contract agreements and amendments as set forth on the contract agenda listing dated May 30th of 2024. There are a total of 4 contracts. There are 2 with the Berksheim, 1 jointly with Children and Youth Services and Juvenile Probation, and 1 with Juvenile Probation. Item 3, a motion to authorize execution of the payments and electronic transfers for the week ending May 28th of 2024. Items 4, 5, and 6 are on the agenda because there will not be a commissioners meeting on June, I believe it's June the 6th. So that's being canceled, and our Commissioner Rivera may share a little bit about that with CCAP board being in town during that time. Item 4, motion to authorize execution of the payments and electronic transfers for the week ending June 4th of 2024, subject to final review and approval of the Chief Operations Officer. Item 5, a motion to authorize execution of employee payroll disbursements dated June 4th of 2024, subject to final review and approval of the Chief Operations Officer. And item 6, motion to authorize any necessary 2023 and 2024 budget transfers and appropriations for the week ending June 6, 2024, subject to final review and approval of the Chief Operations Officer.
Motion to approve the agenda as presented.
Second.
The motion has been made and seconded. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The motion is carried. We'll move now to reports of our county treasurer and county controller. We'll begin with our Berks County treasurer, Mitch Darcourt. Mitch.
Thank you, Mr. Leinbach. Today we have an opening balance of $296,576,465.06. We have a balance to clear of $3,118,276.64, leaving us with a balance of $293,458,188.42. Thank you, Commissioner.
Thank you very much, Mitch. And now to our Berks County controller, Joe Rutteroff. Joe.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. For the week ending May 30th, 2024, we have a total cash disbursement of $10,691,477.32. That's all.
Thank you very much, Joe. We'll move now to our Chief Operations Officer,
Thank you,
Kevin
Commissioner
Barker.
Leinbach. Our team has one recognition again. Want everyone to be aware that Steve Scull, our print shop mailroom manager, after 36 and a half years, is retiring from county employment. An amazing guy. We wish him well in his future endeavors and his retirement. Many positive years to come. You want to meet a dedicated, hardworking, under the radar kind of guy working for the county for all these years. It's Steve. So he will be here through Tuesday of next week. So if you get a chance, stop down and wish him the best in his future. That's all we have. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And with that, we are to Commissioner's reports, and we'll begin with Commissioner Michael Rivera.
Thank you, Commissioner Leinbach. I also want to thank Steve Scull for his service to the county, congratulate him on his retirement, wish him the best in his new phase in life now. So Steve, best wishes. Also, this past Saturday, all three of us were at the Boyertown Midget Baseball Mackey Field ribbon cutting and grand opening. Great opportunity there to see what they've done with the ARPA dollars. The ARPA dollars, one of the things is when we decided on what they would be used for, we wanted them to make sure that they were legacy projects that would have an impact on the community of Berks County, and that's what that field is doing there. So we were there to support that. We each spoke a bit and then had the first pitch. Wasn't sure how that first pitch was going to go, but it didn't go too bad.
Well, we had no warning.
We didn't have any warning, no warm-up time for that. So it didn't go bad, but a great day there. If you haven't been by there and you're in the Boyertown area, drop by the midget baseball field there in Boyertown. They also have the antique car museum, and they also have the Colebrookdale Railroad. So different things to do there in Boyertown if you're ever looking to do any visitation or touristing throughout Berks County. Also, I just want to remind everyone, today there is no elections board meeting. There will not be an elections board meeting next Thursday either. And next Thursday, we will not have a board meeting either. The reason for that being is the the summer board meeting for CCAP is being held in Berks County. Every year it's held in the home county of the president. So it will be held here starting Wednesday night, running through Friday noon. We put a great agenda together for the board members. So we'll have about 20 different counties represented here in Berks County. Next week, we'll be visiting the Fighting Fields. We'll be going there for a game, and then touring some areas that make Berks County. We'll be visiting East Penn Manufacturing. We'll be visiting a farm. So those are the two main industries in Berks County. We'll be doing other visits as well. And then Friday, we have our board meeting here in this boardroom. Commissioner Santoni will be joining us as well. Commissioner Leinbach and I are on the board, but Commissioner Santoni will be joining us as well for those different events, as well as our executive assistant. So we're looking forward to showing off the great things that Berks County has here to the rest of the Commonwealth. And see, one last item, which I'm sure Commissioner Leinbach will speak a little bit more about, is not this weekend, but next weekend is the World War II weekend. Always a great place to visit here. For more information, visit maam.org. That's maam.org, and that is June the 7th through the 9th at the Reading Regional Airport. Let me make sure here, and that is all I have. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Commissioner Rivera. Commissioner Santoni.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Excuse me. A couple of items. I also attended, as Commissioner Rivera spoke, the Mackey Field dedication. It was a great dedication. I actually bounced my first pitch, which is a little embarrassing, but it was a great event. Attended, great weather.
I didn't notice.
I didn't either.
Did you?
No.
I told you nobody bounced the pitch. You didn't have to say that.
The kid made a nice play, so it was all right. I was testing him. I also had the opportunity to attend. Tom Perez was in town from DC, Special Advisor to the President, White House Director of Intergovernmental Affairs. He spent the day in Reading, starting at RAC. I know the Commissioner Leinbach and I had the opportunity to meet up with him at First Energy Stadium. RAC was the beginning, and First Energy was the end of a tour showing Mr. Perez about the federal dollars that came into Reading and Berks County, specifically the city. The mayor was there as well, and it was a great event. And he had the opportunity to come in and pick Reading, and that's truly an honor that he was here to do that. So it was great that he was in town. I also had the opportunity to attend the graduation for at 10th and Green Elementary in the city. They have a Read Alliance graduation, and what that is they bring high school students in to teach reading to first graders who are a little behind, and a great opportunity. It's funded with help through the United Way. It was a great event. The young people were there. They honor the kids for completing it during the school year. They honor the teen tutors who are there from the high school that learn skills. They get paid to do it, so they learn that as well. So it's a great program. They do it throughout the city, and they're looking to expand in the city and also maybe outside of the city in the future with this READ program that helps young people get better skills in reading that will help them as they make their way through elementary school and obviously into high school and beyond. So I want to commend the city for the city school district. The superintendent was there, school directors, members from the United Way. It was a great event. I had the opportunity to attend that just yesterday. My final item is what prompted me to bring this up is we had an operations meeting the other day talking about our budget and the relationship that we have with state government. Now, as many of you know, I served in the legislature, and June is the month where they look to pass the state budget. And I knew it then, and I know it even more now that what happens there has a direct effect on what happens to us here in our budget. Passing a budget past that June 30th deadline is problematic in a lot of cases. The governor proposes his budget in February and puts it out there, and then they have budget hearings, et cetera. And it was met, some of the aspects of the governor's budget was met with some consternation, specifically the higher education piece, and that's understandable. There's another proposal out there that's sort of opposite of what the governor wants to do from the leadership in the Senate, that looks to cut personal income tax from 3.07 to 2.8. Also, it's going to eliminate the gross receipts tax, 140-year-old tax that's paid on electric services. And that all sounds good. And when half the Senate's running for election this year, the full House is running for election this year, they can run around saying they lower taxes, and that's all well and good, and I understand that. But I'm not running for election this year, so I'm going to tell you what that real effect that has on counties like Berks County. If that proposal would pass, which I hope that it doesn't, it's going to blow a $3 billion hole, and the monies that we get, we're recommending that we get $250 million of state increase on mental health funding, and I appreciate the CCAP work. I appreciate President Rivera's work in leading that charge, and I absolutely support it. We're sending a note out to our Berks legislators telling them that we support that. If that proposal would pass, that tax reduction, obviously there'll be less monies to go around, and that proposal, we're not going to give that money. With youth shelter and with youth detention, we're relying on the state to provide resources for all of those. Property taxes to our public schools will have to be increased. So if you think that your taxes are going to go down by that proposal overall, well, I have some beachfront property to sell you in the city of Reading. It's just not going to happen. So I encourage our state reps and our state senators and our governor's office to work together to come up with something reasonable, something fair, and provide those resources that we need at the county level, because the services that we have to provide, our prisons, our CYS, et cetera, is not going to go away. Those responsibilities still fall on us. And if the state's not providing the funding, then we're going to have to raise taxes for that. So I hope that many people who were concerned about some of the things in the governor's budget will raise those same concerns with regards to this proposal coming out of the Senate majority. So that's my last comment on that, and I'm sure that I'll be following that as this budget process proceeds in Harrisburg, and certainly be willing to give updates along the way. So thank you, Mr. Chairman. That's all I have.
Thank you, Commissioner Santoni. A handful of items. I learned something about the Mackey Field event that I didn't know. I thought we all did pretty well, and we did. The comments were great. The problem was we had no clue we were throwing out the first pitch until they said, as soon as we're done the program, come on out and throw out the first pitch. So, but it's a great field. The two of us have played ball throughout our lives, and that's a pretty incredible field for young kids to play. They had, I think, 3 games that were scheduled. The players were already there on Saturday, ready to go when we got off the field. So great event. Just want to mention the CCAP board meeting that is coming up. Really appreciate Commissioner Rivera's leadership for the County Commissioners Association board. It's not an easy task taking on that role. And then next year he's chairman of the board. Is a lot more time consuming than I guess you could really understand until you do it. and really appreciate, and Barbara's impacted. Barbara Lopez, Commissioner Rivera's executive assistant, is impacted significantly by that. But it is great to be able to bring commissioners from all across the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania right here to Berks County. The county is not paying for these various things. They are paid for through the County Commissioners Association, and several of them, the dinner on Wednesday night
And Thursday night.
and the event on Thursday night are being paid for by sponsors. The Wednesday night dinner is SEI, so our the company that manages the
Thursday.
pension. Thursday, I'm
Yeah.
backwards here. Wednesday night is the ball
Wednesday
game
is Prime Care and Tremco.
in Tremco, and then Thursday is SEI. So really excited about that, and again, proud of the leadership from Commissioner Rivera. World War II weekend is coming up. I want to quickly share my screen. If you want to get information on tickets, you can go to their website. It's maam.org. And then if you put in backslash WWII, that'll take you right to the page for World War II weekend. It's, June 7th, 8th, and 9th, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. You want to get your tickets, get over there. I know there will be some World War II vets there. The reality is we're not far from the time in the near future when the last World War II vet will be passing off the scene, which is kind of hard to believe. I grew up with family who were all World War II vets, and every one of them, all my uncles that were World War II vets, are all gone. It's a passing of an era, and it is a unique time. I'm reading a book called Masters of the Air, which is about the 8th Air Force, World War II. I continue to learn some pretty amazing things, and what the horrific things that these men and women went through in World War II. The sheer number of people that it took to do a mission. You had people on the ground that never were technically in harm's way, but they were just as critical to the mission as the navigator or the pilot or the tail gunner. Without them, there were no missions. Many of them would work through the night to patch up B-17 bombers so they could go out on a run the next day. Just very, very worthwhile. Encourage you to go out. I will be participating in the parade on Friday. I'm actually skipping out of the board meeting early. I just am a big believer in supporting this event. And a number of our board members, when we end our board meeting at noon on Friday, World War II has provided tickets to board members that they can go over and enjoy the event. So if you want tickets, more information, go to mam.org/WWII, and you can get that information. The last item I want to touch on is a reminder, and I'm doing this between now and July the 8th. July the 8th, which is a Monday, at noon, we will be having a special ceremony down in the County Services Center lobby, honoring the Declaration of Independence and the Berks County Liberty Bell. Each week between now and then, I want to share something a little bit different. Either the next meeting or the meeting after that, I'll actually share the final agenda for that event. But what I want to share this week is a lot of people look at the Declaration of Independence, say, yeah, it has some significance, but it was important back then and it started our country, but beyond that, it's really the Constitution. And that simply is not the case. Lincoln in 1863 went to Gettysburg, and he began his Gettysburg Address How did he begin? How did he begin it? How does it start? If you do the math, he's referring to the Declaration of Independence. That's what he was going back to. And he called on the value of it. Let me just share some other aspects of Lincoln. As Lincoln on numerous occasions pointed, and this is something that I wrote, as Lincoln on numerous occasions pointed the nation back to the Declaration, so we must return to that same message today. The Declaration of Independence outlines the core purpose of good government, the ideal of all people are created equal. As the objective and summit, we as Americans should hold up as the standard this nation must follow and seek to attain. Abraham Lincoln, in a Springfield speech on June 26, 1857, addressed this very point. Quote, they, the authors of the Declaration, simply meant to declare the right so that the enforcement of it might follow as fast as circumstances would permit. They meant to set up a standard maxim for a free society which should be familiar to all and revered by all, constantly labored for, and even though never perfectly attained, constantly approximated, and thereby constantly spreading and deepening its influence and augmenting the happiness and value of life to all people of all colors everywhere. The assertion that all men are created equal was of no practical use to our effecting our separation from Great Britain, and it was placed in the Declaration not for that, but for future use. August 17, 1858, Lincoln again drew on the Declaration of Independence in a speech at Lewistown, Illinois. And he said this, now, my countrymen, if you have been taught doctrines conflicting with the great landmarks of the Declaration of Independence, if you have listened to suggestions which would take away from its grandeur and mutilate the fair symmetry of its proportions, if you have been inclined to believe that all men are not created equal in those inalienable rights enumerated by our Chart of Liberty, let me entreat you to come back. Return to the fountain whose waters spring close by the blood of the Revolution. Think nothing of me. Take no thought for the political fate of any man whomsoever, but come back to the truths that are in the Declaration of Independence. You may do anything with me you choose, if you will but heed these sacred principles. You may not only defeat me for the Senate, but you may take me and put me to death. While pretending no indifference to earthly honors, I do claim to be actuated in this contest by something higher than an anxiety for office. I charge you to drop every paltry and insignificant thought for any man's success. It is nothing. I am nothing. Judge Douglas is nothing. But do not destroy that immortal emblem of humanity, the Declaration of American Independence. That's what we're going to celebrate on July the 8th here in Berks County in downtown Reading. And I encourage you to join us and participate in that historic event. That's all that I have. With that, we'll open it up. Any comments from our row officers?
I do not have any this time, Commissioner.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Just a quick note, congratulations to Team Penske for winning the Indy 500. Joseph Newgarden, who was part of Team Penske, won back-to-back. That's unusual, where they win it two years in a row. And this was Roger Penske's 20th Indy 500 win. So kind of neat. Berks County, well represented there in Indianapolis. It was race was a little delayed to start, but it was a great time and great tribute to our armed forces. Can't say enough about what they do there for recognition over Memorial Day for our
Absolutely.
Our fallen. Thank you.
Well said, Joe. I mean, Penske Racing, based right here in Berks County, Pennsylvania, Penske Truck Leasing. It's a big part of our business community, and Penske has been huge on the Indy circuit, but also on the NASCAR circuit. And just proud to have that relationship. With that, there are no public comments in person. There are no public comments online.
Motion to adjourn.
Second?
Meeting stands adjourned.